Very much, Mr. Chairman. Congratulations. I want to talk a little bit about uranium because Russia uses energy as a geopolitical weapon. For years, I've raised concerns about the risks posed by being dependent on Russia for energy resources. In 2021, Russia was our third largest supplier of uranium, 14% of U.S. demand, and every dollar we give to Russia supports Putin's war on Ukraine. So despite the administration's so-called ban on Russian energy, we're still importing Russian uranium. Do you agree that the U.S. needs to ban Russian uranium?
Senator, my understanding is that we are working very closely with our allies and partners, including in the G7, to reduce and ultimately eliminate our reliance on Russian uranium services. Several countries in Europe have taken important steps to reduce their reliance on Russian uranium services and nuclear fuel since the beginning of Russia's war in Ukraine. The administration is also focused on this issue here at home by working to identify domestic solutions that support our foreign policy goals and address our own strategic vulnerability. And I would just commit to you that I will certainly be supporting those efforts and looking for ways that we can reduce that strategic vulnerability.
In terms of strategic vulnerabilities, let me move on to rising energy prices and what that means for helping Russia fund their war, their killing machine. Reducing the amount of Russian energy going to Europe would hurt Russia's economy. The oil and gas revenues make up about half of Russia's national budget. 2021, Russia sold $100 billion worth of oil and natural gas to Europe. With natural gas prices increasing, oil surpassing at times $100 a barrel, more of our allies' money basically lines the pockets of Putin. It's a windfall, I believe, for Russia. As a result, the amount of Russian energy going to Europe is a major problem. Is there a national security issue when our allies and partners are increasingly dependent on Russian energy sources?
Senator, what I believe we're seeing in the wake of Russia's invasion of Ukraine is that our allies and partners have seen that Russia is not a reliable energy partner. We've seen significant drops in certain parts of the energy landscape. I think we're expecting potentially to see more starting December 5th. And we need to continue doing that as a part of that, not just focusing on reducing the dependency on Russia, but then providing alternatives that can give the Europeans a stable energy supply from other locations.
Yeah, as you use the phrase alternatives and then a reliable energy partner, which is what they're looking for long term, do you support quickly increasing U.S. exports of natural gas to Europe to help reduce their dependence on Russia's natural gas?
Yes, Senator, I do.
Okay. I wanted to talk about what's happening with Ukrainian children, and you've read that since Russia's invasion of Ukraine, there have been reports of Putin ordering the transfer of Ukrainian children to Russia to be adopted and become citizens of Russia. Our U.S. ambassador to the UN, Linda Thomas Greenfield, reported that thousands of Ukrainian children have been taken from their homes or orphanages before being put up for adoption in Russia. She said more than 1,800 children, I mean, it's an astonishingly large number, were transferred from Russian-controlled areas of Ukraine to Russia. I think she said in just July alone, so in 1 month. In May, Putin signed a decree making it easier for Russia to adopt and give citizenship to Ukrainian children. The New York Times had an article in October titled, "Using Adoptions, Russia Turns Ukrainian Children into the Spoils of War." The Associated Press had an article titled, "How Russia Grabs Ukrainian Kids and Makes Them Russians." So how can the U.S. and the international community hold Putin accountable for the large-scale forced relocation and deportation of this program?
Senator, what you've just described is absolutely sickening and horrible, and I certainly commit to you and to this committee that one of the first things I'll be doing is if confirmed, is reaching out to my colleague, Ambassador Brink in Kiev, so that we have a good coordination there on some of the information that's coming out. I think how we hold Russia accountable is to support and engage in as much documentation as we can to expose these horrible practices, and then I think to look for approaches and avenues where we can certainly in the cases that you're describing, where we've had children separated, to get children back to their parents. I don't have an answer right here for how that is, but I do think it is very important to have that channel or that emphasis on approaches that look at restoring children to their families.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.